of Girls Glasses Girl podcast. Woo!
We have a guest on the podcast.
So today we are doing something entirely new. We have a guest on the podcast, and in a moment I will allow her to introduce herself. But this is Grandma's perspective episode, so be ready to take in a lot of gems, a lot of wisdom. We have Grandma Oladeji on our podcast. Woohoo! So Grandma, do you mind introducing yourself?
Okay. Good evening, or good afternoon, whatever time you are.
Right.
My name is Mrs. Adetoro Oladeji. Formerly from Nigeria, from Ibadan, from Okeho, from Hawaii, presently in Atlanta, Georgia.
Now she's American, just FYI. Okay, so it's good to have you, Grandma. So I know Grandma from my dad. So Grandma's family is like an elderly brother or father's figure to my dad. So I met them through my dad, and then we met physically in the US when I got here. So let's start with what have we been up to? Let's do that.
What have I been up to?
Work. So Grandma, just FYI, we usually before we start, we usually catch up on what we've been up to. Okay. For me, I've had let me not say stressful, but I've had a long week, I would say, because I've been going into the office. Like right now, I'm more like working hybrid format, so I'm going into the office like 3 times a week. But this week, I went to go and get my Nigerian passports renewed on Monday, and Nigeria will always be Nigeria. That's all I will say, because what annoyed me the most was that when I was done with the application, and they told us to print our appointment slip, and they said, "Oh, bring these 2 documents with you when you're coming." I brought those 2 documents with me. I even brought extra documents because I'm like, we never know. But even me, I was still not ready for what they were going to say. Only for us to now get there, and they were like, "Oh, they want to check our documents." And then after they're saying, "Where's your file? No, not file. Where's your envelope? Where's your envelope and your money order?" I'm like, I already paid online. Like, you could not tell us to bring money. You could not tell us to bring anything. And I said, "No, don't worry. We have like a business card right behind. Like, you just go there to print." People that they don't print their document, $5 to print. Money order, the envelope that they wanted us to collect, $25. The money order, it was $30, but we had to pay $40. So by the time I was done, I spent like an extra $70 there. I was like, what is the meaning of all this? And you know the worst part again is that when I now got there, they were saying, "Wait, just go here. I now sat down. And I saw them holding people's folder, like holding people's envelope, calling people's name. I was like, which list are they following? I was asking people around me that, which list are they following? I was like, I don't know. I sat down there for like maybe 15 minutes. So I was like, if I sit down like this, I'll be sleep here. And I was going to meet somebody. She was like, don't come here. I will call you from there. I said, how do you want to call me? That I've been sitting down there since. She was saying, when did I come? I said, I came early. I was number 10. I'm on 25 already. I said, and I gave her my form, and I gave her everything, and I took it inside. But everybody was just, you know how when you are in the Nigerian environment and every government thing, like everybody was tense, everybody was shouting, people were just shouting, like, I came from California, I came from this, I came from that. And one lady came from California, and they said, I think her documents were not complete. And she was like, I've been here since
yesterday. You go to California and come back?
We have to, because the lady was like, I don't know anything about it, that go and check your portal, something on. So that was what I did on Monday, then just getting ready for work. Then because I've been working from home mostly. Now going to the office now is now like a different, it's like a change. So I'm like, oh god. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically what I've been up to. What have you been up to, Ebun? Yeah, so but I told you, there's no, even if you have your complete, if you have everything in the world, they will still tell you to pay for something. That I don't know, that place is just crazy. But you did 10 years now, so yeah, you don't have to. Hopefully, you don't have to even renew that again.
Oh, so you're doing 10 years now. That's good.
Yeah, but is it 60 pages? I'll be 64 pages now, so 10 years. But anyway, time flies by really fast. Is the crazy thing. Before you know, it's already 10 years. But anyway, what have I been up to? Last weekend, I went to make my hair, right? So when I got there, so the lady that used to make the hair before, I think I told you, the previous hair she made for me was not good. So when I got there, the first night I told her was, I don't know what happened, but the last hair you made was not nice. She was like, oh yeah, that's my bad. That she had her nails fade. I was saying that this your long nails, go. you're making hair, you have long nails. So she's not like, oh, that she apologizes.
But
That
she
long
give you
nails.
discount.
If I hear, which did discount. So, but she was even busy. She was relocking someone's hair. So she now said, oh, the other person that did not have anything doing, she was like, oh, if you don't mind, this person will do your hair for you. I said, okay, no wahala. I was like gisting with this lady, blah, 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 blah. That's how she finished washing my hair. She was like, you need a trim. Can you cut it? I was like, no problem. It's not used us to cut hair. Please tell me why trimming hair is $30 plus. So, like, the way she was saying, she was like, oh, like, how they stop now.
Yeah.
So she was like, there's already a fixed amount that I make my hair, right? Like, I just wash my hair, do cornrows, and I'm good. So I already had in my head that, okay, this is how much I'm spending, maybe tip of however amount. So she was like, oh yeah, she was even selling other things to me. I was even telling you now that you do, like, at some point I was thinking of doing silk press, like I was thinking of other things, but then I was like, okay, maybe later. That's why she now gave me my bill and it was like 100 plus. I was like, wait, what?
You have measured the length of your hair.
It's not even the length though. She said because she trimmed my hair.
Yes, now.
So I paid $30 to trim for 6 hours that you just like let me not lie. I was like, I don't get. Anyway, now that I know, don't trim my hair again. But you should have told me that this will cost you extra. Isn't that supposed to be?
I think they just assume that you will know that.
I did not know. $30. Anyway,
You are bigger than $30.
At that point, I was not, because I already calculated everything in my head. Okay, after this, I'm going to do my nails. So I'm like, what am I basing $10? It affected that tip, Sha. So I eat me, but I don't care. I did not care. I'm like, sorry, you used your tip to trip. So yeah, that happened, and then my car. So my nail entered my front tire, so I went to the mechanical to say, okay, let me fix my car. So got it fixed on Sunday. They had to change the tire. They said it could not be patched. So another expense. See why $30 was painful. Another unexpected expenses. I was like, I beg, give me the cheapest. The lady, yes, now lady was telling me, Kiriko. I was asking her, okay, so what's the difference between this one and this one? She said it's just branding. She said it's like buying Nike and Adidas. I said, okay, no, well, give me the cheaper one. It's not Nike and Adidas. She gave me the cheaper one, though, which, well, because hopefully I changed my car soon. So I was like, okay, let me not just spend a lot of money on it. So tell me why I was going home that same day. I got on the highway. It was last week Sunday, by the way. I got on the highway, and of course the highway is like 65, like that's the speed limit. So I was going 65. I was getting ramped up. My car started shaking. I was like, wait, what? I started sweating from inside because it was like a knot. You know how when something is not properly tightened, it felt like that. It felt like a knot was just. I was like, hey, oh my god, what if one tire just flies out? What if, like, I was thinking of different. I was like, is it because I bought cheap tire? Like, different thoughts started coming to my head. Like, my car started shaking. Like, the steering was very fluid, so it wasn't like strong. So it was like this. I was like, oh my god, I couldn't park on the highway. I was like, God, I beg, 10 more minutes to get home. That was a very crazy experience. Well, Mumumi, I still went to work on Tuesday and Thursday with Aka, but that was because like I wasn't going to be on the highway as such. Like, it was a slow drive, so I was like, okay, let me do this. Anyway, on my way here, I went back, well, to the same company but a different location, and then they were like, oh yeah, sorry, it will not rebalance. I'm like, I don't get. You gave me car. You could not rebalance it. Hey, God, I beg. I was like, that's crazy, because God forbid, if anything happens to me, I would have sued them. Like, no jokes. Because I'm like, how will you fix a new tire and you did not rebalance it?
Did they not even put rebalance on your receipt?
They put everything now. Like, because I checked the receipt, I'm like, oh, did they actually find something wrong with my car? There was nothing there. It was like, check. I was like, Anyway, thank God for safety, because we are here today. So that was all I did. Yesterday, I had brunch with some of my friends, which was actually really nice. It was great catching up with them. And that's it. Grandma, what have you been up to?
Well, thank God. Usually I go to my son's place to babysit for our children Monday to Friday. And this week, Winners Chapel that I attend now, they were celebrating 44th years anniversary. So we had program, I think, on Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, which was supposed to be all night. But I was able to attend that of Wednesday and Thursday, because driving at night.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it anymore, so I watched online. So today is the grand finale for the
Finale.
celebration, praising God, dancing, jubilating,
Thanksgiving.
everything. And after
They
that,
give me food in church.
very beautiful, very beautiful. We are all dancing. We were called out to dance. We dance and give God the glory. And after that, we had another meeting. So that's all I did. And coming back home, I just rested a bit before you came.
That's nice. So, by the way, we are very honored to have Grandma on the podcast. She's a very very busy person. Like we had to postpone this before because obviously like her April was like all booked. So thank you so much, Grandma, for coming.
I'm good.
Okay. So Grandma, basically, why, or let me say, to just like give a lay of the land is, we wanted to hear your perspective on certain things. So we've been having we used to have conversations a couple of times about different things. Specifically about, we'll start from parenting, right? So say for instance, like any normal Nigerian mother or father, we want their child to be either a doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Anything
Those
else.
3 things. And so my dad was he's retired now, but he still lectures sometimes, and he has other like lecturer friends and professors whose children are probably like doctor, lawyer. So in his mind, he's like, you have to be, not like comparison, but like that's his own way of knowing a smart person. Like you have to be like a doctor, so that when you also get to that guy, you'll be like, my daughter is graduating from something and everything. But comparing to now, right, where I think I saw a research one time, and it was saying that, I think it was on Instagram this week, and it was saying, I think like 10 jobs, the highest 10 jobs that Gen Zs want to do now, and it had social media influencer, specifically TikTok influencer. It had, I think,
Content
like 10.
creator.
It had content creator. I think like 10% was like software engineer or something. But it was more gauging towards like social media. Like people don't want to go to school and study like doctor. Like, but what was that like for you when you were like raising your children? Were you also of the opinion of, or are you still of the opinion? Let me start from there. Of like, you have to be, obviously you have to go to school, but you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer. And what do you think about like this new age of, we have to we can be anything I want to. If I want to be a TikTok influencer, that's what I want to be.
A fashion designer, I want to go to school, or I want to do,
Well, in those days, as you have rightly said, most parents will want their children to trail after them. For example, if you are an engineer, you want your children to be engineers and things like that. But then, children should be given the choice, as a matter of fact. Like my first daughter, when she wanted to read business and I think computer science or something like that. But then that time, though, she was so small, the only institution offering it was, I think, University of Abeokuta or something like that. And that now said, we allowed her to choose, we allowed her to be admitted. Now that a 15-year child to be released to go to get out of the house to go to Abeokuta, my husband said no, that will not happen. He just went to you, and he was a part-time lecturer there. I said, please, my daughter, bye. We made the mistake of her, choosing the course, and we know that it's not there.
A mistake.
And so we just admitted her for industrial engineering.
From business.
In UI.
From business.
From business.
That's a total
shift.
It's not really total, because industrial engineering is engineering plus economics.
Okay.
Industrial engineering is engineering plus economics. So when it came to the time of our first son, she did JAMB, but he wanted to do medicine. But we prepared for, I think, NECO or WAEC before the final year. So with that credentials is what she wanted to get admission, but she didn't do I think biology.
No.
So that one, was not making him to qualify for medicine. He also ended up industrial engineering. So then the third one said, no, I'm not going to industrial engineering. I want to read electrical electronics. And that one too is in Ife. My husband said, you can't go You have to do your electrical engineering, whatever they are doing there at UI. At UI. Now, to the fourth one, okay, she initially, because of the strike and things like that, by the time she finished high school, that was a long strike. So instead of sitting down at home, come and just start something at Poly. So she attended Poly, doing computer science. After 1 year, she did a JAMB and was admitted to UI. So how do I now shuttle? So she shuttled between UI and Poly for the first year. During the second year of computer and the first year of she also read
so she did ND and
she also read ND computer science.
Okay, and then she now went for direct entry.
Now, no, not direct entry. She
was doing ND and BSc at the same time.
At the same time, it was stressful for her.
Wow.
Very, very stressful for her. But then we are grateful that she was able to finish strong as well. Then the baby of the house, I'm not going to engineering. So she chose to read computer and she read computer at UI. But all of them now, even those who read engineering, they are not in engineering.
Yeah.
They end up doing other things.
Right.
The first, Bola went into accountancy, was working at the bank before leaving Nigeria. Dele is into chains.
Blockchains.
I don't. Anyway, I can't remember exactly. But he was doing that. He didn't go to engineering. He worked as cook for a long time.
Okay.
After she worked in so many other
supply chain.
Supply chain. So none of them really engineering for. So it's better, especially nowadays, and they are also training their own children now that whatever you want to do. Even if at least the baby, their own baby, when she's doing catering at Gunetech.
Right. Okay.
So on Friday, she said they were doing exhibition. I was there with her.
Aww.
In fact, the photograph is over there.
Wow.
I was there with her. So they allowed them to do what if chef also say piloting. They were taking him. She was going training for piloting, but I don't know what you really want to do now. One of them is one has finished at what is it? The technical Gunetech. So the second one, I don't know what she's reading, but she's taking her out of the country to go and study.
Yeah, there's a study abroad program, I think.
Spain. Yeah. I mean, Spanish or something like that. So it's better to leave the child to do whatever he is interested in because he will enjoy it, number one, and it will prosper that child. So whatever it is, just pray along with them that whatever is their choice, that or also groom them or teach them to pray about whatever they want to do. So when they pray about it and they hear the leading of the Lord and they do it, they will excel by it, they will enjoy it, and they will prosper by it.
Let me ask you a question now. So you know how a lot of times children, as they grow up, especially here, they grow up with a lot of activities, extracurriculars and things like that. And when do you feel is the right time? Because I feel because again, children are more exposed to a lot of things these days now, and there are a lot of opportunities as well for them. Because I've seen stories of especially for people maybe that do gymnastics now, and how they have to travel for different events, things like that. So at what time do you feel there might not be a right answer for this, but at what time is the right time to allow the children be on their own? Because they're exposed to so many opportunities and so many things, I feel like they will have so much varied interest. So at what, like, when is that sweet spot to say, okay, I feel like you are old enough to, maybe if you want to go to college out of state, or you don't want to go to college maybe in the same vicinity as the parents, like at what time is it the right time, I would say?
Well, here in America, you know that as soon as the child is 18, she's free to make his or her choice. For the government, you can't make the choice for them. If there's anything that involves making choices for the child, once the child is 18, the government will not allow you to make that choice for them. So maybe as soon as, when they are in high school, you know, they should be encouraged to make whatever choice. Most of them in high school, if they are so good, they combine college with high school even before they leave. So at that stage, this child should be able to know what she really wants to do, and the child should be allowed to make his choice, and the parents not totally handing off, but encouraging them, advising them, and praying with them. No, we are not like the American community that as soon as the child is 18, go, you are on your own. They will slave for them right from childhood up to that time, and your investments up to 18, the child is not yet out of advice, or I won't say control, but advice. So she's not yet really mature to be able to really stand on his or her own. There should be some guidance. Should be some guidance.
Grandma, thank you. I think you've shared some story about like when you were in Nigeria. Now that you are here, I think we can take a step back and say, what was that transition like for you? Right? I know you were in Nigeria. I know you've been here before you eventually settled here, but like you've lived the majority of your life in Nigeria. You worked in Nigeria. You taught in Nigeria, and then you came over here. What was that transition like for you, and what were like your biggest challenges?
Well, the transition is not really too easy. We were here, apart from coming to visit occasionally when children give birth, but we were here mainly because my husband was sick. He was really, really, really sick, and the doctors in Nigeria were not able to handle it. They are just playing with his life because they will have to take their own money. Say if he occurs 5 times, it's a matter of doing it again. They were just playing with his life, and the children say, "Oh, enough is enough. Let him just come over." He came over. Immediately we came. We had to go to the hospital after eating. And the doctor said, "Hey, the BP 200 and something, over something. The creatinine. Were you seeing any doctor in Nigeria at all?" Said that doctor should be sued. So carelessness of doctors have taken so many lives in Nigeria. So on coming here, we was to go. He was attending, not admitted. He was attending the hospital, which is Grady. So we don't have a choice but to be driving on highway, which was not so easy. So we drove that for a long time. Then we come here. We cannot totally depend on the children. We need to work. And we are supposed to be teachers. They say we should take some exams. We took the exams. After taking the exam, especially me, I have education. I don't have to do education part of it. My husband needed to do education, but though he was very, very, even in sick condition, we were doing those exams. So I finished the exam, and the next thing was for me, expectantly, to be given certificates to be teaching as a teacher. At that point, they didn't tell me, but at that point, they now say, for recency of study, I should go back to college for 2 years.
What?
Yes. For recency of study. That I should be current. I say I've been lecturing maths up to the time I came. I have not yet even retired. I just took leave of absence. That one really put me off. So I just say, just hold your teaching something, if that is the case. So I did CNA. I had to do CNA. So I was
Nursing. What's CNA?
CNA, the one, it's just 1 or 2 months training for you to take care of the elderly.
Okay.
So
Nursing assistant.
nursing assistants, I did that one. I was doing that. I was working at Publix. I was working at assistant living. All that time I was thinking that maybe if I do so many jobs together, I will be able to get a house of our own. It's not easy to be even with people for long.
Time.
But then all of them were part-time. They say no, they cannot give us accommodation, or I cannot rent a house with all that. Anyway, by and large, my husband was still teaching. I mean, my husband, okay, we now relocated from our son's place. We got this place. We looked for another church, and then getting there, say, are you working? So we're not working. How can you, husband and wife, not be working? Why would you maintain it yourself? Can you try substitute teaching? I say no, over my dead body. I'm supposed to be a teacher. I did the exam, and you rejected it. But my husband didn't. He went for substitute. So he was doing the substitute teaching along with the part-time lecturing at Tech. Even though he was sick, very, very sick, had to take dialysis 3 times in a week.
Wow.
3 times in a week. So that time, I just concentrated on taking care of him and all that. And when the Lord says it's time, in fact, the first week, second week, we got to Grady. There came a time they say they cannot handle him again. Just go and rest at home. Say when it's time. Say how long? Say 6 months. My husband just broke down. But the 6 months, that was 2010. God in His infinite mercy kept him up to 2014.
Wow.
So when he finally passed, he said, now it's passed. Even I'm saying I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm taking care of somebody. He's now gone. What do I do? Lord, what do I do? So I did the CNA. I was given a patient like 4 times my size to be carried. For 3 days, my back, I said, no, I can't do this one. Can I have, the one that is agile, so that we call it a companion. I'll just be there and be helping. He wants to go to toilet. They say they don't have. And I look up and say, God, what shall I do? I can't be sitting down idle. Even apart from the money, me alone in the house. God says, use what is in your hand. What is in my hand? God says, you have something in your hand? I said, okay. I've been a teacher all along. And they rejected me. Maybe I will just take again the substitute teaching exam. So I took the exam. They said we should come for interview, but lo and behold, they said it's an orientation that work has started. The money is not much. So another lesson that I always learned, that I always teach people is that whatever you want to do, seek the face of God. And when God is in it, even though it may be little, you'll be satisfied. The school teacher will be getting 4,000, and we substitute teachers are getting $80 per day. And it is when you are able to get work every day. When they first resume, teachers will not be calling out. So in a month it could be 500. In a month it could be 1,000. The highest I got before I leave the place is like 1,500.
A month.
A month.
Wow.
That was the highest. So I did it, and I was even happy with it because I go out to meet teachers. I go out to mentor students, to advise them. So I made a lot of friends among teachers, among students. I'm not lonely at home. So it gives me joy, even though monetarily it's not thing to write home about. But when COVID came, the students said, with this little money, you go and expose yourself to COVID. Just stop the work. Come and be babysitting for us. So that was the journey in America. So it's but we thank God because it's all ending in praise. It's all ending in praise.
I've heard your story before, but I don't think I've heard this deep part before. But thank God though, like, wow, it's, I don't know, it's just like when you said, oh, like, you know, your husband was still working even when he was sick. That's,
in fact, there was a time I was so sick towards the end. So I think he needed to be admitted to the hospital, and he went to Gunetek to say they should give him permission for so days if he will come back. He was on crutches, and those people are amazed. You still come to teach students with crutches. We can't allow, just go for as many days as you want. You can't be coming to be teaching students on crutches. That's how committed he was.
wow.
Committed he was.
So during your time while you were teaching, like how, because during your time while you were teaching, I know that I've also had, like, there's a family friend of mine who is currently a teacher right now. One of them is like a lecturer, and the husband is teaching, like, I think middle school or something. And they talked about how, you know, the discipline of children is different. Especially if you've been a teacher back before, and now you now have to like change and like not conform per se, but like things are different because the society you're living is differently. So how was it like handling, you know, children when you were a substitute teacher?
That's a very, very good question. Initially, it was not easy. But I had to go on internet to read about the students here. And I read that primary school students, they are easier to handle.
Okay.
Because they are looking forward to pleasing their parents. I have to do well to make my parents happy. Now, the middle school, with the teen age, they don't care. They don't want to please themselves, they don't want to please the parents. And the high school student, they are already in high school, they know that they have a future ahead of them. So they are more serious. So when you go for substitute teaching, you go for, if it's primary, any age, any school that you have the opening, you go.
Yeah.
If it's primary school, you go get there, and you don't even know what to do. The kids, you say, oh, hey, this is how our teacher does it. They will put you through. And in fact, the teacher will say there are two of them that are very responsible, that can be putting you through, and those people will really rise up to the occasion, and they will put you through. Middle school. See how he's dressed. Can you hear? She has an accent. Can you hear what she's saying? Yeah. The noise, they are difficult to control. So usually, I don't take middle school unless it is special education. You know, those that are, some of them are still not zero, but then it's better than the normal regular students. But when you get to high school, those people are a bit serious. Although some of them now are not serious, but a lot of them are really serious. When the teacher, and what we go to do is, the teacher will leave a plan that this is what they are supposed to do. You are just to make sure that they do it, that they don't make noise. You give them the assignments, and you see that they comply. But then you will see some of them, man and woman, a big boy and girl, sitting down on the lap of themselves inside this classroom. And there is nothing you can do about it, because the teacher is always disciplined, not the students.
In case anything happens.
In case anything happens. Even if you back home, a student will just say anything and you just figure, even if you say, oh, stop doing that, say, it's shouting on them, it's embarrassing them. It's embarrassing them. In fact, twice, well, maybe once or twice, I've had issue with our substitute teaching office. Well, one was not really, I really didn't know that something I'm not supposed to do, I did. I went to a primary school. I was supposed to substitute for two different classes, one after the other. The first one, I was there, and after this, We like you, oh, you are the best substitute, you do this, you do this, you do that. Then the second one too as well. So they were writing notes that they gave me. Then another one now said, please, can you give me your phone number? I didn't know, I am not supposed to do it. It's in the regulation, maybe I didn't read it. So I gave her the phone number, and as soon as I was getting inside my house, the phone rang. I couldn't pick because I was just, so later I called. I just saw the missed call. I didn't know who called. Then I called back. And I can't even remember the reply. But then I'm supposed to go for an assignment that I picked, that I will do the following day. Then I now a phone call or a message that assignment I should not go for it because they are doing something on the computer. The computer is the laptop that we pick to see the option and to pick. Well, I just say okay. Then the second day I went to the one that I've taken, and I go to the school and say, are you so saying yes? And so you cannot take this job. I've taken it before. Say the person who is taking it is coming. What do I do? What shall I do? Say go back to your administrators. Okay. So I went to them, and they say on so dates, what happened? That I should narrate the issue of giving phone number. Then I narrated this. They say I put it in writing. I put it in writing. Say okay, you should go. We will investigate. If you need to go further, to call you back, we'll call you back. For 2 weeks, I was not allowed to pick any job.
Wow.
For 2 weeks. So instead that the parents, and luckily I am a woman. If it were a man, because the girl, this was a girl. If it were a man, it would be another thing entirely. So it could be punished somehow or even be dismissed from the work. At another time, I normally have these small Bibles I take to school. So occasionally, I will minister to some students and give them Bible. So this faithful day, I didn't know it was the wrong person I was talking to. I ministered to him, I gave him Bible. And he just went to report. And the following day I got to work, say, you don't have to pick up this job and don't ever pick any job from this school. It was a high school, very good school that I love, that the students are very, very serious and good. Don't ever take any job from this school. So I didn't take until I left.
Wow.
So that's the kind of, discipline for teachers, but not for students. If you report that somebody is sitting on anybody, they don't care. What the teachers are even afraid of the students. So teaching job here is not palatable. It's not easy. It's not easy. But thank God for those that are doing it. They know how to do it. They have to be just patient and don't pick up any offense, no matter what they experience from the students.
But that was going to be very hard because
then there was a school. I think it was a special school because at some point, and I decided that okay, I think special schools are better. I was taking up the job, so I got there as a teacher. Then the assistants, I can't remember the name they call them now. So say okay, you are the substitute for our teacher today. You say yes. Okay, please stay in the classroom. Some of these students are able to come into the class by themselves. Others are not. I'm going to collect those ones from the boss. So please stay in the class. When they come, just usher them in. And when you get to any school, whether able or not able, how are you today? How are we? Just so nice, embracing them before you usher them to the class. So I was just standing at the door, and this boy came in. Oh, welcome. How are you? How are you doing? Say, who are you? I say, I come to something for you. Where is my teacher? I say, I don't know. I believe you're from Africa. Are you from Africa? Go back to your country. Go back to your country.
Oh my God.
Before you know it, He has disappeared. I have to radio, but so class, this boy. There is nothing they will do about it. And you cannot say anything to it.
Oh my god.
So it's quite an experience. It's quite an
Oh my
experience.
god. It's I feel like at the end of the day, because we did not grow up here, so there's no way it can never be the same. It can never be the same.
It can never be the same.
But do you think that in any way at all, like voluntary or involuntary, do you think that your perspective about parenting has changed since you got here? So case in point, like, you know, again, there's pros and cons for everything, right? I can't remember who I was talking to, and I think we had a conversation about like when we were growing up. I was like, oh, when I was growing up, I didn't really like my mother because I thought that she was after my life. Like, there were so many rules, especially as a female child, that you have to follow, right? Like, there's so many rules. You can't do this, you can't do that. Like, you're like, are you even
Like, are you really my
mother? Like, or I don't know if you ever wrote letter. I don't think I ever wrote letter, but I know some people write letter that they'll run away. I don't think you were the one that gave them to me. They'll pack their bags and run away. I feel like that's like almost every African child, you know, has that experience where there's some level of rigidity that comes with being an African child. And like when you come to, you know, the Western world in cases like this, then you have to hold on to some of the values that you have, but you have to unlearn and relearn certain things, right? So what does that look like for you? Like, how do you think that your parenting style, do you think that if knowing what you know now, do you think that anything will have changed from, you know, maybe, I don't know, I obviously I don't know what that looked like for you, but I can talk from my own experience. Myself and my mother and I will talk a lot, but like 10-15 years ago, we did not we did not have that relationship just because of, you know, things like that. So I just wanted to hear what your perspective is.
Well, back home, you say your mom is doing something, you better come to the Oladeji family. My children will still say it to my ears now. It's my husband that did all he did, but they will put it on me. Because while growing up, what my husband, the only thing he knows is just reading. No other thing. And the discipline, even for me too, when I finished, I married and I was given back to children, like 3 of them before I went to university. So when I finished, I wanted to go to school, to be teaching. I said, how about these children? They won't have flexibility. That's why I ended up at the Polytechnic, that I can arrange my lectures. But by the time it is 2, I have to be home to come and prepare food for the children who are coming back from school. And when they come back from school, just eat your food and sit at your table. Eat, rest a bit, and sit at your table. If you have questions, you ask questions. But for you to leave the thing, my children will be saying, when the yellow car, they say the yellow car, you are using yellow car. When the yellow car is out, the garage now will be like what is it? Where they can play table tennis. They arrange just stick and whatever. They play. Somebody will be at the entrance of the garage to be watching. Immediately the yellow car appears, boop, 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 everybody to your tent, all Israel. Everybody to your tent, all Israel. No television, no going out, no this, no that. The discipline was really much. That to the extent that my child said, what is it all about? She said, because so that we read ye now. So that you will read ye now. And that's what. The discipline, and we thank God, because for some children too, even the high-handedness will allow them to stray away.
Yeah.
But we are lucky because they did not. And it pays them, they also realize that it pays them off. But coming here, you can't treat a child here as you teach a child in Nigeria. Because the children have their own life to live, and they should give them some flexibility. And again, you balancing social life, because it affected them a bit. You balance social life with academic life. no going out, no watching film, no television even. I don't even know when, even if we have television, it's for daddy to sit down and hear the news. It's for daddy to sit down and hear the news. But here, the children they are priority. Yeah. If the television is on and the child say, I want to watch this, the one I watch. But the side effect of what I see here is that too much laxity too. It does not go well for the child. The Bible even says, spare the rod and spoil the child. There should be some balancing. That's okay. The rule says we should not touch the child, you should not do this. My sister, my husband's sister in UK said, when you first go there and said, you tell the children, call them together. Oh, if you do anything, I will smack you. If I smack you, go and report. You will be taken from this house forever and never, and you will never say, you don't want to see us again? I said, no, I want to see you. So anything I do to you at home, when you get to say, so it needs a lot of balancing, and the side effect or ill effect of so much laxity and freedom here, especially even for the parents. A child of 1 or 2, as soon as he's able to talk, because I want to concentrate on my work, you give laptop. Right from iPad, right from that, then later what is this? Laptop, and you don't know. Even the child from primary, they all have laptop, and you don't know what they are doing on it. Occasionally, there was a time my daughter-in-law was telling the boys, he will always shout up, "What are you watching?" I'm doing my assignment. No, before you go, you change. And even at church, we have the same problem. The children, the teachers of the children, they always complain that the children come with the phone, with laptop, instead of coming with the Bible. When they are teaching them, they are busy watching their phone. And the parents are saying they are not doing anything. So how do you balance it? Even the teenagers say they are on their laptop, they are putting something on their ears, listening. So how will they be able to learn whatever you are teaching them? And what people don't realize is that either the school or the church is not responsible for the training of the child.
Yeah.
They are your children. And whatever you do with them, you will repeat at the end of the day.
True.
Input, output.
Yeah.
You input garbage, you will reap garbage. There's no shortcut. Another thing is that you are responsible to God. These are precious gifts from God that has given you to watch over for Him. How did you do the assignment? No child go astray without the help of the parents, because a child that you do not monitor, that you do not groom, will come out to be another thing. So most of the parents here prioritize their job, their career over the family, over the children. It's not supposed to be. God first, your husband and family second. Job is the least. Because we are all Yoruba. One office is already Yakowe. At the end of the day, you will leave the job. Another person will take it. We are retired now. You go to poly. Most of the people that we know there are no longer there. So there's no respect. There is no nothing. But you come back to your family. And how you treated them while you are working is what you will receive back. So it's important to balance it.
I think that's the key word actually. Like balance is the key word. Like balance both here and at home.
Mm-hmm.
Like here is like, okay, how do we balance, having that morals? I like how smart people here are, but how do we also balance that with like good morals? And back home too, how do we balance good morals, good academics with social. Listen, because again, like when we were growing up, there was nothing like swimming. Like I learned how to swim here. In fact, anytime my parents see me, they'll be like, what are you doing in the water? What's
Yeah. Be like, don't go near water.
yeah, you're not
Don't
supposed
go
to.
near water.
Exactly, like you're not even supposed to. Do you get what I mean? Like all these things, all this gymnastics, basketball, whatever. Like those were not priorities. If it's not maths and English, it's nothing.
If you not come
That's
first.
some schools they don't have sports. Like Aberdeen College.
Yeah,
Because
like
people don't
the
get
secondary
sports.
school OBMS. It was just once we had it our sport in 6 years. It's just because like every only thing we prioritize is that that academic and every other thing is like not on par. So I feel like it's like two ends of a spectrum, and one way or the other we just have to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
But I feel like like parents now are doing a lot more
They are doing a lot more
to include their children, but it's just that school fees now are so expensive, and that's just because they're just trying to incorporate all of those
A lot of
things into it. So if you're a parent now, you're paying school fees. Sorry, but I know it's a lot right now. But yeah, that balance very, very important.
That balance should be there.
And I even there's this other things too that is also sweeping through like this new generation of parents that we have now. Because I feel like just like what Ebun was saying about how our parents felt like they were very harsh, like it felt like they were like maybe you're not my real parents. So I think because to now course correct now, people are now doing this whole gentle parenting thing, and it's everywhere. Gentle parenting in Nigeria, gentle parenting everywhere. So what do you think about gentle parenting as a concept in like as a parenting style? Because you hear people say, oh, don't shout on your children, not like shout on your don't shout on your children, don't just talk to them calmly, like like if a child is screaming and acting up, you just say calm down, don't shout. You just say stop that. So like it works for some children, it works for some other children, because I saw a video of one child was in a grocery store and the child was screaming and starting things and nobody could talk to the child. And I'm like, that's another spectrum of that gentle parent, because if you cannot talk to your child, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So what do you think about gentle parenting, and how do you, that balance, where does it come from? Because we don't want to be too extreme with being harsh on the children, but we also don't want to be too gentle where you cannot control the children.
Well, it needs to be balanced, as I even said earlier, because the children, when you are too soft on them, they will kind of want to take authority. That everything that they do, they think is right, which is not, which may not be right. So the parents have to occasionally put down their feet and say this is the right thing. There are a way to discipline children apart from spanking or whatever. Okay, I said you should do this, you don't do this, I will take your phone. They love phone, they love iPad, they love all that. I will seize it for 1 or 2 days. The child will kind of, if he misses it for 1 or 2 days, he will know how to come back and will know the boundary. Well, you have to set the boundary. That's the word. Set the boundary that if you do this, this is what will happen. If you do this, this is what will happen. So, and then kind of, be firm as a parent. Yes, your yes be yes, and your no be no, and stand on it, so that you will earn the respect of that child. It's important that one has respect by, being truthful, by showing good example. Like if a parent is in the house and some people, he doesn't want some people to come, and you say, please, he looked to the window, I don't want to see, went inside, tell him I'm not happy. What is he teaching the child?
Not to lie, yeah.
To start lying. So the boundary should be set, the parents should be firm, they should set boundaries, say if you cross this line, this is what will happen. If you do this, this is what will happen. Then occasionally the child can be say, okay, stand up and face the wall. He does anything, you don't smack him, you are not beating him in any way, and even the whole training, exercise. It's squatting, it's an exercise.
You do monkey sweets.
Or you stand on one leg and hold your ears. It's painful. if it's for some long time. So some kind of discipline that we tell the child that this is no going there, this is what you should do, this is what you should not do. Because moral training is also very, very important. Like even respect for elders. There's some children don't respect elders at all. And our culture is full of respect, for God's sake. When you see an elderly person, you know how to greet. But you know, if there is a man or a woman too who see an elderly person as not respecting, so what will the child do?
Yeah.
The child will follow suit. So both parents, then another thing that should be cooperation in the discipline of the children by the parents. When one parent is saying this thing you have done is wrong, I just say don't mind, don't worry, don't mind your dad.
Good comeback.
And don't mind your mom. Some men are the one that is very gentle at home, and the woman is the strong one that wants, hey, in this America, my children should not go bad. I will stand on it. And in some homes, it is the father. So, but when there is a cooperation between the father and the mother in the discipline of the child will sit up. There is no hiding place for him. So the child will have no choice but to speak up. When you are growing up, will your daddy say something and your mommy antagonize you? No. You know, even if you know it's wrong, you will not stand up and say it.
Yeah.
Because the children will take side. When you are taking side, they will know, oh, this one is too wicked. They will think it's wickedness instead of discipline. So the parents should cooperate in the discipline of the children, and they should set standards that should not be crossed. When it's crossed, there should be some way of reprimanding the child.
I think one thing that you said that's very important is like, don't just say, but do what you say. Basically,
do what
because
example.
It's like
the example.
we want people to we want kids to do things, but we're not even doing what we want our kids to do.
Another thing is that the training of the child is mostly what they see you do.
Yeah.
Not what you say, but what they see their parents do. They
True.
copy.
True.
So
That's
this
very true.
leading by example is
example.
very, very important.
That's very true. So when you were telling your story, Ma, like, you know, when you were telling your story of, you know, when you got here and how you transitioned, you said something that, you know, I would like you to talk about, and I wish like we had stories or whatever, but you were like, oh, when you got here, you didn't want to be a burden to your children, and then you had to look for something to do. And I'm like, there are so many, I know stories of so many parents that their children is their retirement plan, basically. Like,
People say that thing, you know.
yeah, okay, so there's this thing called black taxing, where if there's one person in the family at all that looks like the person is doing well, the burden of the family is on the person, is on that person. It's like everybody keeps asking. So when you were like, you had to you literally like had your own hustle going on, I was like, okay, because we've had cases of parents being like, whatever you have to do, like you owe us. More like that, that mentality of I labored for you, I carried you for 9 months, whatever. So there is this mentality that some parents have, that you literally owe us.
They
like
lay claim to
something like that. Like you owe us. Like there are so many people that they are drowning in burdens. They are drowning in, you know, just everybody asking them because their parents just feel like we've given you life, we've done this for you, and you have to do it for us. Like,
And then if you don't do it, you now feel guilty.
yeah, like how do you address such parents, and how do you even address the children in that case? Like, how do they manage such things, and what would you have to say to the parents?
Well, what I see is that is the children that allows it. There are some children, no matter what you say, they are not bothered. Honestly, no matter what you say, they are not bothered at all. The parents should not see the children as their investment. It's a wrong notion or wrong orientation. and they are deceiving themselves. Because there's a limit, even when the children is willing, there's a limit to how much you can drive that person. The children, after you have done whatever you have done for them, it's your duty to do it anyway.
Yeah, you're the one that brought
Because
them
God, I mean, they didn't say they want to come. Like, children will say, I didn't say I want to come. You are the one that brought me. So when you brought me, the onus is on you to take care of me and train me. But having said that, the children, you just pray, everybody prays that you have a compassionate child. Not just having children, but truly compassionate children. If you have such, honestly, if it's only one among all the children, you won't have problem. Because before you even ask, he will do it. Say, I owe it a duty. Not out of compulsion, but out of love. Out of love and care. But if it's not a compassionate child, like I said, is when the child he allows it. Some we say it from morning till night. I hear, and it's not doing. So what do we do? What do we do with such a child? And even on internet, majority of the people have been there. Don't see your children as your investment. Plan for your retirement. Plan for your retirement, because you'll be disappointed. And to be fair, when the children, after they finish school, they settle down, they get job, they do this, they settle, they marry, they have their responsibility. And here in America, it's not like in Nigeria, you have a house and you own the house and that's the end. You have a house there, even if you buy it, you are paying mortgage, you are paying rent, you have children, and even babysitting, you know how much it costs. So the parents should know that it is out of love, or out of care, out of compassion, and out of the little they are able to save. How many people are able to save? How much can people save, even here? So it's both ways, that the children should try as much as possible to pay back once they are able. Because the Bible also says it. Children should honor their parents. And that's the only commandment with blessing, so that they will receive the blessing. I have a friend that's neglected, and when the person die and they say, okay, I will build the foot of the burial. Of what use is that? But when that person is alive, whatever you can do it, so that you will receive the blessing. Even though you have a lot of responsibility, try as much as possible to have some, allotment. Even if it's $100 per month or $200 per month, the person will appreciate it. Then for the parents too, do not be dependent, because you'll be disappointed. You'll be disappointed at the end of the day. Yeah, so I think that's what I want to say concerning that.
It's a really, really good balance, and it's just crazy how, like, a lot of Nigerians outside the country they are like drowning in responsibility, in trying to keep their heads up, because like the people back home are just like, maybe okay, you are here now, so you understand how the system works because you're talking about mortgage and everything. But people back home, they don't understand how the system. They feel like.
But you remember, it's not only the parents back home that are draining people.
Yeah.
It's not only the parents. Maybe siblings, maybe uncles, aunties, maybe friends.
Yeah. No, I use parents because people feel like they have an obligation to the parents. If such a person is not your parent, you might not have an obligation. For if it's a random person asking me money, I'll be like, okay, no problem. When I have, I'll give to you. But for your parents, it's a deeper level.
But because some people will go out of themselves, especially if it's siblings. Say, how will I see it that I'm successful and my siblings are not successful? They will say I'm wicked. Yeah. That's a case of a brother that got here and was doing so many jobs, and the wife will say, you are doing so much job. How much do we need here? but is trying to sponsor the brother. But hey, I don't have money for the school fees of my children. I don't do this. At the end of the day, the brother at home built a mansion and was opening the mansion. And the wife saw you and said, say, come and look at your brother. I don't have school fees for my child. I don't have this. The brother sank. I now called, say, I heard that you are dedicating it. It's the glory of God, oh. It's the gift of God, oh. It's the glory of God. So, there are some, and some people will be here, they will be working. Okay, please help me buy land. I want to build a house. They'll be sending money. And when they get home, okay, how far the job, how far is this building going? Building?
That's even
They have used it for themselves, and they will just show open land. So it's not the parents alone. What is important is that everybody should just have common sense. Yes, to know what. There was a lady in UK. They said he went to UK and she was hustling, doing CNA job from one to another to satisfy people at home. And there was one night he was coming from job, he just dozed off, and that was the end. Or some people, they got into problem. Those people at home say, I don't have, I'm not working out my job. Why did you drive yourself to those extent? Is it compulsory that you should be? If America is not good for you, come back home.
Can you imagine?
So one should know what he is doing. Do whatever you are doing with this wisdom of God. Wisdom is the main thing. Get wisdom.
At the end of the day,
Get wisdom.
the next of keep our alright.
Take
care of yourself.
Spend your money for you. If you don't use your money, next of kin will spend your. And the thing that you have, like the thing that you are passionate about, all your material things, next of kin will not use it well. They will use it anyhow.
It's anyhow.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Okay, so I think another thing that I wanted to ask is, I mean, I've been here a couple of times and I've seen the camaraderie between your children. Like I've seen how close they are. What did you say you did to ensure, because there are a lot of people who they don't have like that much of a good relationship with their siblings. So and I feel like sometimes the way siblings were raised also matter a lot. So there's favoritism, it's just one of those things. Maybe a parent obviously like another child more than the other, then there's resentment that starts to form. There are a lot of things. That's just one of the reasons. But like, how did you ensure that there's like love and friendliness and togetherness amidst your children?
There's the grace of God, I will say. And another thing is that while raising them, they have the same treatment. Like I told you, that one will be looking at will be watching the garage door. The others they play together in their own little way. And they go to school. They almost attend. In fact, all of them attended the same school, Aberdeen College. Some of them were first of all at Ilorin Government College, the boarding school. The boys, but one of them was almost lost. So we had to go and withdraw them and bring them to Aberdeen. And the one that was almost lost immediately got back to Aberdeen, and he was going from home. I was Miss Partners from home. He had to represent Nigeria in Olympiad. And first in Africa.
Wow.
Second year.
Wow.
So if you didn't take that decision at that time, but the second one that we too say, after God, he was the one that was not behaving well, we should have left him all the same. At least we thank God that all of so then we don't allow anyone to really depend on themselves. Like you have trained one child, two child, then when the others are growing, okay, you have to take responsibility and take care of this. So there is nothing like that. Even if they are helping of their own volition. Their own volition. And I don't know, maybe that is part of what bring the togetherness, and we always tell them nobody is a slave or a subordinate. You are all equally endowed, and so there should be mutual respect. And for that, everybody is on his or her own. There is nobody looking up to anybody. So, but they can come together and rejoice and help one another if need be. Then, like I said, it's just the grace of God. Like I said, while raising up them with the discipline that none of them is so it's the grace of God. It's just the grace of God. And we thank God for it.
I think we just thank God for things like that, because a lot of times too you hear about, like, because even I always feel like when parents are going through different stages of life, when they have like one child versus when they have maybe their last one after a few years, maybe when they had the first child they were just struggling, they were just starting work or something. Then maybe when they now had the last child, they are now directors or something. So you now realize that the treatment, personally, you realize that the treatment that maybe something you did when you were a child, that if your last born does it, and you're like, mommy will beat you. That's
same thing. It's also happened now. Okay, so what I was saying, Bisi and Niyi enjoyed, all of them say Bisi and Niyi enjoyed better because daddy has stepped down, slowed down, something like that. Because that is always there. That's always there. I like even in education, it was the last one that we spent so much money on. You know, sending him.
Always the case.
Sending him to UK. It never happened. And we were here struggling while we were doing that. So, but God is always faithful. When we were training all the others, we didn't have much. Lecturer, how much? I started lecturing job at the Polytechnic with 350. 300.
I'll be 350,000.
That was 1993. And you know that's 350. What I used with the 350, 3.5 million cannot do it. Because my husband will always say, I take care of the school fees. But if it comes to, and he trained me to, to be responsible, so to say. If the children want to go for WAEC, say this is how much they are going to need. Oh yeah, how much do you give? So I will give my own bit. Then it takes care of school fees, as I said. So my own 350 is for the housekeep. Now out of 350, I will take 50. I always took 50 naira to Moniya. Me and my friend, we buy a tire of Malu for 90. That's $45. 5 naira remaining, we buy in Konu.
Oh, okay. So
the fridge will be full to the brim for the whole of the month. Another 550 naira, I go to Iwo or Fashu. You know Ofa. What is Ofa? You don't know Ofa?
And we don't know Ofa.
Do you know Ofa?
Oyinbos are going to Nigeria to learn Yoruba.
What does Ofa mean?
60.
62 bags of yam?
Yes, for $15.
15 naira.
15 naira. 15 naira. Then
I've never heard that before. I've never heard that before.
Gari, Garawa Gari, 5 naira. Garawa Ere.
Garawa Congo.
No, Congo ke. Tin. You know what tin is? A tin of
like paint buckets.
Paint bucket ke. Tin. Tin yen. Báwo la ṣe bóyá bí drum.
Really?
Kini ọ̀dà tó tóbi yẹn.
For 5 naira.
For 5 naira. Rice, apple rice, the big one. Rice. 50 naira. Another 50 naira.
Be nice.
Another 50. Life was good. Another 50 naira to Agbeni. Carton of milk. Holland milk, imported milk. Carton 96 loambe. 96. Then very giant Milo, very giant then soap and things like that. So
must be really nice. So must be nice.
That's 150 on food. The house is full of food. No matter how many we are in the house.
Wow.
For the month we are eating and eat whatever we want to eat. Now I will take $100 as a job. You know what a job is called. Then the other 50. How many now? We
have
have
100
150.
Yeah.
150. I still have 100 left. I mean, if you want to buy anything, clothes, shoes, whatever we want to do, 350. More than sufficient to
Wow.
to live on.
I think
So we've had this very good in Nigeria
Yeah.
before. You don't know how we come to this level. It is well. It is well. It is well. We just thank God.
Okay, yeah, so I think my next question generally would just be like, I know you mentioned how, you did the substitute teaching, that was how you grew community, right? But like, which other ways were you able to like develop? Because now you left Nigeria where your friends, where your job is, a lot of family, and now you've come to quote unquote this strange land. So like, what were the things that you actively did, like apart from your job, what were the things that you actively did to make sure that you are not alone, like you are actually like part of something, you're able to get friends, you're able to like just live a good life, and it's not like, oh, you've come abroad now, you're living in one corner, nobody knows you, you're not seeing outside, things like that.
Well, I would say showing love and being nice. Then the church, the Oyibo church that I went to, even I still have friends there, even up till now. I just left the place because of racism, 1. 2, there is no real prayer, and I'm a woman of prayer from Nigeria. So when I was fed up, and the pastors are not steady, when I was fed up, I had to go to Winner. And to God be the glory, nobody showed me the way to Winner. Nobody invited me to Winner. I went, Holy Spirit directed me. And when I got there, I joined the prayer group. I was thinking, in fact, the first day that I went for prayer, I was thinking it's like Nigerian one, that they be praying for prayer requests and things like that. But it's not knowing in Winner. Just pray for the kingdom, and God will continue to bless you. Matthew 6:33. So, in fact, when I got there, the first person that I met, I said, I have so problems. Say, you just continue to serve. In fact, he annoyed me, say, continue to serve. This is the problem that I bring to church. I almost left this church, but I thank God that I didn't leave. I'm a testimony to it. And the people are so friendly. I have so many spiritual daughters there. Like I said, that most of the clothes that I wear is people giving me.
Yeah.
No, then I have someone in Christmas time. I don't want to spend Christmas out of US because I always have package. $100 here and there from the members of the church. Now the prayer group that I belong to, belong to a prayer group. I said my Saturday 7 o'clock I have to be in church. I don't come back until 1 because prayer 7 to 9, then another 9 to 10. Covenant hour of prayer 9 to 10. After that we go for evangelism. And to the glory of God, the love and the respect is honestly just too much. Like January is always my birthday, and prayer squad, when I celebrated 70 during COVID, I invited them. I was just newly joining them. I invited them and they came soon Lafiche. So they, although every year, every time anybody celebrates birthday, they put it on the platform, we celebrate. So this person just thought it's a landmark birthday, and he went ahead and bought 2 dresses and a bag for me.
Wow. I said, 70 is a landmark birthday now.
It's not 7. No. This year.
Oh, okay.
This year.
Okay.
So then they say Mother's Day is tomorrow, that we should dress corporately. We don't want to tie gele or ro atibuba or ankara. It has to be English dress. English dress for where I was not at the meeting, but later somebody told me they put it on. Then the pastor's wife called me, I think yesterday, say I have out of my business schedule, I must say I should talk to you. And what about only she want to go on Sunday program? Money want to go where the dress that we're wearing. I have so many dresses. Only no, it's not a matter of that. We know you dress fine. Anytime you come to church, you get. But this time around, we want English dress, corporate, and the wife fascinator. You cannot say
Fascinator.
I don't have fascinator. You know, I can't leave my head. I go to church. I wear my hat. I wear hats. I have so many. No, you don't want hats. But okay, which dress do you want to wear? Just take the photograph and show me. I will buy you a fascinator. So I took the picture, 3 different ones, and he chose one for me. The one he chose for me, to the glory of God, is what one of them has given me. So he called me this afternoon again. By Sunday, he will bring the money. God bless you, winners. Somebody bought the dress. Somebody bought the fascinator. Somebody will buy the fascinator. So I have a lot of friends. Then I personally too take it upon myself to be calling people to check on them, to see how they are doing. So I have a lot of, most of my friends are, you know, like my daughters in the Christ. Okay. But, you know, even this bandit that I'm talking about, the mother, as we have been close, we have been friends. Although I'm a lot way older than. Then the assignment that God gave me in Nigeria too, you know, the widows ministry is there. I've occupied to the glory of God with the work of God, and that has been keeping me on.
Like that, occupied to the glory of God with the work of God. Honestly, so it's like when you put yourself in the kingdom, like God will take care of you.
Yes,
God will take care of you. God will bring people to surround you that will help you, even when you don't even ask for the help.
Even the widows ministry that I'm talking, there are some people in the church that regularly give me something, however small, maybe $50 or whatever.
I think it's just out of like, and because people have been influenced and touched by your life as well, that's why they are just like giving and because you've given of others as well, so it's not like, it's like now they just want to look for a way to appreciate you and, you know, and so you yourself can also receive.
Grandma, thank you so much. I think this has been a great time together. Let me just tell this small story so that you can understand that our generation is very different. So I met Grandma the last time I saw her was in February. Yeah, it was in February at someone's event. So okay, yeah, you know how I've been yapping about I was planning the 50th birthday event. So I saw Grandma at the event, and then you remember Omo-Olorun said, I was looking so nice that day, like her clothes were so fine. Like when I put the picture, like if a couple of people sent me a DM, like, oh my god, your dress is so nice and everything. Grandma said, and we need to be dressing better. Because I was looking skinny in that clothes, so I'm ready. The clothes made me look skinny, and then she doesn't want me to look skinny, so next time I'll wear a boo-boo.
So I got but something
that will make me look bigger.
Like a dress or.
Oh my god. Grandma, is because our generation is very different. People like that dress.
People like the dress.
Yes,
that's good.
Oh my god, but yeah,
that's good.
But obviously, we definitely need wisdom. You know, every time we can't forget, like, you know, where we are coming from. And I think one of the things that he said today is, from not even said, one of the things that I picked is, never for once did you ever play victim. Like in all of this whole thing, that like from your story to everything you said to, you know, even your husband, like there was no victim card. Like you were even the one calling people to check up on them. You know, some people would be like, don't they know what's going on with me? Can't they call me? Yeah. Or whatever. Like you were, you know, you took extra steps to make sure that you were not dependent. That's like, you didn't say it, but it's something that I picked. It's like, you know, some people just sit down there and they're like, she did not call me, I did not call her, or you owe me, or like you are my sibling, you're my friend, or you shouldn't know. I feel like, and I think that's obviously, like, God does love you and he does like a love for you, but I also know that people love what you do and they are touched by what you do. So hence, you know, God is also using them to bless you the more. So people like good people, though. If you are not good, if you're good people will be good to you. If you are not good,
people will run away from you.
And you not be saying, my enemies, people, my haters. People don't love me, but yeah, I think love goes a long way. And yeah, we all have our part to play. We all have our role to play. So what's your daily dose of EO?
I know what my daily dose of EO is.
Oh, okay, so Grandma, so before we go, we usually just say one thing to our audience, more like, what do you want to leave them with? So what's today's dose of EO? So what do you want to leave them with today before we go?
The audience,
Yeah, like people that are listening.
people that are listening, well, I just want to encourage them to be loving, caring, compassionate, forgiving. The Bible says we should not forgive when you are offended 70 times, 70 times. Can somebody offend you for
490
for 10 times even? That is to say, don't even take offense. Before anybody offends you, say, I've forgiven you. Because God also forgives us. And that's why we are who we are. If you don't, the Bible went ahead to say, if you don't forgive, I will not forgive you. Can we stand not being forgiven by God? And because of that, we should forgive. And we should care for other people. He blessed us so we can be a blessing. So he said, Abraham, I will bless you and you will be a blessing. In the same way, he blesses us so that we can be a blessing. So however little, I always tell my widow's ministry, no matter what stage of life you are, if you have 100 naira, you can't part with 10 naira. If you have 1 million, you won't be able to part with it. And the widow of Zarephath, if he didn't give, will he survive? She will not survive. So the life of giving that Christ has come, he gave himself. So we should also live a life of giving. And also I want to leave them with partnering with the Holy Spirit, the presence of God. When you are in the presence of God and you commit everything you want to do, like Moses said, God, if you are not going with us, we are not going. Anything that the Holy Spirit is not asking you to do, don't do it. If the Holy Spirit is in it, then you go ahead. God created us, he gave us the wisdom and everything, but yet he does not want us to be dependent. He wants us to be dependent on him on daily basis. I mean, Proverbs 3:5 say, trust in me with all your heart, lean not unto your own understanding, in all your ways, acknowledge, and I will direct your paths. Say, I will teach you, I will instruct you the way you go, and you will follow you with my eyes. When God is leading you, you cannot be misled. So, the leadership of the Holy Spirit is important. Seeking his face all the time. All the time. All the time. Leaning on him. It's very, very important in life. A life that is lived directed by the Holy Spirit will not have any regrets.
Sure.
So, thank you so much. I appreciate you for giving me the grace to be able to part of what you are doing.
No
Thank
problem.
you
We are
here.
exactly. We appreciate you. So my own daily dose of EO is going to be very short. I think I already said the part of that is, and I think she already said the part of that is, yeah, like don't play the victim card. And I think part of playing the victim card is always expecting people to give to you. Meanwhile, your mentality should be, how do I give to other people? Because God has blessed you to be a blessing. So let that mindset shift, let that perspective shift. I've had a couple of people say, oh, Ebun, how do you keep friendships? Ebun, how do you? And I'm like, friendships is not about taking, it's not about expecting, it's actually about giving. It's about, like, if you are not giving, you're asking, you're saying that your friends are not, are you there for them? Are you thinking about them? Are you, how do you show up for them? And not just your friends. Like God is saying, love everybody. So imagine that you're not even doing that for your friends. How do you do that for other people? So yeah, it's very important. Once you have that, and again, if you are, we struggle with so many things. Some people struggle with this because maybe the way they grew up or like what their mindset has been. Ask God to help you. Ask God to help you to love. Ask God to help you to give. Is in the little things. Take your little wins. If you give to somebody today without them asking, celebrate it. Like celebrate yourself for that. So, you know, take a step today. Call that person. Give to that person without them asking. Just give willingly, right? It goes a long way.
I think my own daily dose of your grandma has mentioned it already, but it's basically like occupy yourself with the kingdom, with the work of the kingdom, right? And I think another thing that I learned throughout this entire conversation, and everybody that listens, I'm sure we also get it, is the fact that you need to be very intentional about how you like put God in everything that you're doing. Even when Grandma was sharing her story, she talked about how she asked the Holy Spirit, what should I do? When God said, you have what is in your hand already, like use that, do something with that. And even with grandma's dose of EO. So I think that's just my own dose of EO for today. Like, occupy yourself with the things of God. So even in times when you are confused, even in times when you are not sure where you should be going or what you should be doing, like, if you surround yourself with the things of God, or surround yourself with the word of God, or surround yourself with kingdom people, God will direct you. God will use his people to direct you. God will use his word to direct you. God will use his spirit to direct you. So if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling confused, if you're feeling like you don't know where the next step is, this is your sign, or this is like this is an opportunity for you to like go back to God and like surround yourself with the things of God, surround yourself with the word of God, surround yourself with people of God, and you just realize that God is showing you himself the way to go through his people, through his word, through whatever means he can, even through like nature, things all around you, right? So yes, but this has been a very interesting episode. Grandma, we want to thank you once again for taking out time from your busy schedule to be with us this evening. So yes, please also remember to like, to share, to subscribe, to also share with as many people as you can, because I know that you will be blessed from this episode.
And this particular episode is not even just for like millennials or Gen Z's. Like, send to your parents, send to everybody that you know, basically,
Send to everybody in your contact.
You're gonna be blessed. You're gonna be blessed. So, Grandma, thank you